Good morning, everyone. It is Tuesday, January 14th. I'm at work, so I'm outside, and I want to do my little video before I go in. Hope everyone is having a good start to their week. I was thinking and contemplating on a topic to discuss, and I was torn between two, but then I was listening to a podcast on my way to work, and it actually triggered something or reminded me of something. It did make me cry a little bit, tear up, but it did remind me of two specific people. And the topic I want to talk about is giving. Giving. And giving is very, very broad, very general. We can give in many ways. And I do believe that everyone is able to give something. So the podcast I was listening to was Jay Shetty, who I always listen to. I consistently listen to him. And he had a songwriter and rapper on there called Russ, R-U-S-S. So he was talking to him, and they spoke about a lot of topics, but one topic that he spoke about that really reminded me of these two people, like I said, was the topic of giving. And I don't consider myself a very giving person. I feel like I should be giving more, or I could give more. But I know a lot of people have told me that I am very giving. And I do try to give as much as I can when I can, what is at my disposal, or what I have available to give. Because sometimes people think of giving and they think of giving something material, like giving money, giving merchandise, giving food, giving time. To me, time is very valuable. So when I give you my time, it means a lot. But I think we all need to learn to give more. And this artist did say that. He said that everyone should give, that if we give more without an expectation of receiving or even being recognized for it, the world would be a better place. Everyone would benefit from that if we think about it, because everyone has something that someone else needs, and he said it's like it should be something fluid. So when he mentioned, that he likes to give, and he doesn't necessarily needs to post it or talk about it or mention it or say it, he just gives because he wants to give. He wants to help. If he has it, he likes to give. And he said something that his mom also said: if you have it, give it. Like if you can help someone, help someone. And my dad always said that too. My dad always said, if it's at your disposal and you can help someone, just help them. Like what harm does it give? You can hold the door for someone, hold the door for them. But the two people that I really thought about when he was talking, or they were talking about giving, was my mom and my grandma. My mom is an incredibly giving person, really giving. I've always seen it in her, and I've always noticed it. And she's the type of person that she gives and she doesn't expect anything back. She truly gives to help. And Russ said something about, like, when you give, you receive, or, it does come back to you. Like, the world sees it. And I see that with my mom. She gives so much and she gets so much, but I don't think she gets it because she's expecting it. She just gets it because God sees how much she gives. And my grandma too. And I think I mentioned this in a different video that I made, that my grandma, she gave everything. She would give her shirt off her back. She gave everything that she could give. And I noticed this when she passed away, when we were cleaning out, we were at her house and we were cleaning out her room, and we saw that she had nothing, and everything she had were things that were given to her. So she didn't buy anything for herself because I feel like she didn't feel like she needed anything. Everything she would give, whatever she would get, she would give. And even things that I would give her, my mom would give her, her other kids, her other grandkids, um, people that loved her would give to her. She would use it for its purpose, and then if she saw that she wasn't going to wear it again or she didn't need it for anything else, she would pay it forward. She would give it away. She would give it to someone that needed it. And this is something I spoke to my husband recently, because we frequently make boxes. They're just big boxes with things in it, with food, clothes, toiletries, whatever. Mainly it's food and clothes or specific things that are needed, and we send it to Dominican Republic to my husband's uncle, because he lives there. So we sent him many things, and there's a boy that, for, oh my God, my son's 18, so for over 15 years now, for over about 15 years now, we've been caring for. We sent him stuff. We started with sending him school supplies, with sending him clothes, with just sending him things, food, just to help him, specifically with school. We wanted to help him, so we send boxes, and we send this boy things too. So it's mainly for his uncle and this boy and whoever needs it. So whoever needs it in their village and where they live. There was one time where we sent several boxes, and when you send a box, you're able to send like a big bag of rice, either 25 pounds I think we've sent, or we've sent 50 pounds. I think they lowered it to 25 pounds. So you could send a bag of rice and a huge container of oil. So we send that too. But one time we sent a few of them. So we shared with other people that cared for my husband's uncle, so that, you know, would make him his food. Another one, he would go to her house to drink coffee, or, you know, whatever. But anyway, so we like to send boxes over there, and my mom has always sent boxes to Dominican Republic to her cousins, her aunt, my dad's aunt, my dad's cousins, just in general, to my dad's grandparents when they were there. She would send boxes consistently, and it helps these people to feed them. Some of them, you know, and we don't care what they do with what we send. You could keep it, you could sell it, you could give it away, whatever you want. And I told my husband, like, you need to clean out your closet. Whatever you don't wear, just send it, because someone else can use it. Like, your garbage is someone else's treasure. And I remember listening on one of the podcasts too, or somewhere, or maybe I read it somewhere, that you shouldn't have broken things. You shouldn't have like broken clothing or broken items or things like that, because it brings like negative energy to you, having these broken items. So I told my husband, like, if you have something ripped or broken, just send it. Because over there, specifically my mom, what she sends it to one of my dad's aunts, and she has a clothing store. So she's a seamstress, and she sews a lot of things. So a lot of times she will tell me, oh, that outfit you sent me with the ripped seam, I fixed the seam and I sold it, or I gave it away, or my granddaughter's wearing it, or my niece is wearing it, or my great granddaughter's wearing it. So people find use of it, and people can fix it. So giving, we sometimes refrain ourselves or avoid giving, because sometimes we feel, well, they don't deserve it, or you expect to get something back. And I don't think that's the way we should be looking at giving. The way we should look at giving is, do we need it? Like, do we need it? I know a comment was made by Russ that he said, some people, you know, they make money, make a lot of money, and then what? Like, what are you going to do with it? Save it? Like, if you have such a significant amount of money, and then you're just accumulating it when others can, it can serve others. So why not? And it just really made me think of them, because an outsider would look at my mom and think like, oh, she's so wealthy, she has so much, and she doesn't have so much in terms of monetary wise, I should say, because she gives it all away. But I feel like she has so much more riches in other ways, like in love, in affection, in loyalty. She has so many people that are loyal to her just because of how she's helped them. And sometimes it's such a small way of, or such a small thing that she gives, but it's so significant to certain people. For example, there was a friend of theirs that is very, very sick, and my mom went to see her, and she gave her something, like, I don't know, she gave her an envelope probably with some money, but not a large amount, but something. And this woman was so thankful, because she told her, you have no idea how this is changing my life. Like, this is something that I needed. And the woman wasn't even like she needed it for herself. She needed it to give it to someone else, to help someone else. And this woman she's very ill, she's sick, but my mom giving to her allowed her to give it to someone else. And she's in need. Like, she really needed this. I don't know, apparently the person she's giving it to needs it more than her. But it's going to be life-changing for this person she's giving it to. So it's a cycle. You know, like my mom gave to her, she's giving to someone else, and who knows how it's going to trickle. I don't know how, you know, I'm not following through with how it's happening, and I just know because this woman told my mom what she's doing with it. But and then this woman is blessing her, like, you know, God bless you, God bless your family and your kids and your grandkids. And my mom is so rich with blessings, because I hear it all the time. And I hear it from people even telling me, like, oh my God, your mom helped me. Because of your mom, my whole family's in this country. Because your mom gave me work, I was able to bring my daughter here, who then brought my son, and then brought her father. You know, like all these things that trickle through. My grandmother, same thing. My grandmother gave so many people jobs, and she helped them come to this country, and she helped them bring other family members, and she never expected anything back. She was just happy knowing that they were here. She was happy knowing that she could help, because she herself was struggling in her country, and she knew how hard it was to find a way here. So she figured, if I can help them, let me help them. If God gave me the accessibility to help these people, why not? And she never thought of, oh, I'm taking it away from me to give it to them. And I feel like I kind of do that too sometimes, because I feel very blessed that I have a lot. Like, I've never went hungry. And I tell my friends this a lot, and I tell my husband, I'm like, I don't know what it is to go to sleep hungry. Like, I don't know what it is to be hungry, but my parents do. My mom, she came from a village, you know, that they were struggling. My dad was from a village. Like, I look at pictures of my dad, and he's one of those kids that was, you know, in underwear and his belly out and the big pop belly, because he was hungry. So they went through that struggle, and they showed us. They took us to their villages, to their country, showed us where they lived, and they gave. Not only we would go there, but they would go there and give food, give money, give clothing, give whatever they could give time. We would share time with them. I remember we celebrated my brother's birthday one time there, and it was amazing. Some of these kids came up to us and told us, oh my God, this was the best day of my life. I ate, your parents brought us clothes to wear, we danced, we shared with you. So that's why I feel like time is so significant, sharing and giving time. So giving has many, many forms, many ways. And I think we should all continue to give, because when you give, you do receive. you receive another way. And I know when I give and people say, oh my God is gonna multiply it for you, or they're gonna quadruple it or triple it, and I always have said, I don't need to get anything back. I just hope someday, somehow, someone pays it forward to one of my children, because that's all that matters to me, my kids. What I do for my kids. So I hope that it does get paid forward through my kids or my grandkids, or, you know, just down the line. Like, I feel like I don't need anything. I don't need it to be paid forward to me, but to them. And I feel like my mom and my grandma are the same way. They are so grateful, and they appreciate when someone does something for their kids or their grandkids. Like, I remember my kids have a therapist, and till this day, and a teacher that they had in kindergarten, all three of them. And till this day, my mom says what these women, you know, the therapist and the teacher, and they happen to be best friends actually, have done for your kids is priceless. Like, there's no way we can ever repay them back for and it wasn't even, I mean, it was significant, but she says the attention, the love, the confidence, the time they put into our kids to help them grow and be better humans, it's priceless. So in a way, I do feel like it is paid forward. I do get it back, and I've gotten it back through a different form, and that is a way of giving. So we can give so much, and when we think we don't have anything to give, you do. Sometimes just a conversation, just calling someone and saying, hi, how are you? Just sending someone a message. Hey, I was thinking about you. I love you. I miss you. Hope you have a great day. Just anything. That is giving. That is a way, a form of giving. Even though we may not see it that way, it is. And that person may appreciate it so much. So give whatever you can. Sometimes giving is opening the door for someone. I mean, any little thing, and then it trickles down. I remember one time, I don't know, I was in the line of McDonald's or one of those places I could drive through, and I just like looked back and I said, you know what, I'm gonna pay for that person's food behind me. And it was funny because the cashier like kind of giggled, and I was like, you know, like, what's funny? And she was like, well, like 2 cars ahead of you, someone paid the person behind you. Like they saw it was like trickling, you know. And I thought it was nice. And the person in front of me didn't pay for me, but I just felt like paying for that person. And my kids were in the car, and they're like, oh, why are you doing that? And I'm like, I don't know, I just felt like paying it forward and giving to that person. And they heard the whole conversation, and they were like, oh wow, someone else did it too. And then I remember my daughter saying, well, maybe that person that you're paying for will pay for the person behind them. And I said, maybe. But that's how I think we make this world a better world. So I will cut it short. I know I went over, even though I've been saying that I am going to make them a little longer. But this one I thought was very important to share, because we should continue to give. We should teach to give, just because giving is not only a positive thing, but it's positive for others to see it and then to follow it. So I try to teach my kids also to give, just because, and I see it in them sometimes. And it's funny because I mentioned even that sometimes people don't give, or when they give, they expect to get something back. And the reason I say it's funny is because my son specifically is a big giver. And sometimes I would tell him, like, you give and you don't receive, like they're taking advantage of you, I would say. And then he would say, like, no, Mom, it's fine. And then he would say, well, oh, this person that I gave to that I felt he was taking advantage of him, he's like, oh, he paid for my meal at so-and-so. And in my head, I'm like, your meal was like $7. You've given so much more. But it's true. I like try to hold myself back and think, he's not giving to receive, and I'm showing him that he should give to receive. No, he should continue his way. And I tell him, I'm very proud of the way you think, that it's not that you're giving to get something back. So let's continue to give, whatever it is at our disposal that we can give. And let's teach our kids also to give whatever they can give also as well, whatever's at their disposal. So thank you very much for listening. I know it was a long one, but I think it was an important one. Enjoy, and let's make it a productive day and a giving day. Okay, till next time. Bye-bye.